What if your first investment was never meant to be money? And what if your greatest asset is your body? And what if the condition of your body determines the condition of your wealth? We are taught to invest in stocks, property, business, but rarely are we taught to invest in this vessel that makes it all possible. And here is the energetic truth. Before wealth is built externally, it must be supported internally. Your body is your first bank. Great awakening, magnificent people. I am Jazmian D, and I want to welcome you to the Generational Rhodium. It is the media and healing branch of HWPLP. HWPLP stands for Health, Wealth, Prosperity, Love, Peace. We are a movement-driven investment firm dedicated to building generational wealth through healing, collective economics, real estate, and venture capital. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe, and please do share with people that this might resonate with. And also, by doing that, like, commenting, and subscribing, it helps to make sure that we get this information to the people that it works for, just like you. And we are so grateful to have you a part of our mission. This episode continues our series, The Root of Wealth is Wellness. Now let's get into this magnificence. Over the last 60 years, food has changed. It has become faster, more processed, more convenient, and less alive. We move from a nourishment to a stimulation, from fuel to dependency. Research can confirm this. There was a British medical journal in 2019 that found that high consumption of ultra-processed foods is strongly associated with increase in chronic disease. Frontiers in Psychology study done in 2020 found that the diet quality directly impacts our mood, our decision-making ability. And there was also a study done by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2018, and it showed that processed food disrupts hunger signals, and it leads people to overeat, and it creates imbalance. But this is not just physical, it's psychological, and it becomes cyclical. Poor food choices lead to imbalance. Imbalance leads to illness. Illness leads to medication. Medication leads to side effects, and side effects leads to more medication. It is a continuous loop that we in this US of A have found ourselves in. And it is a loop of perpetual illness, a body that never feels stabilized. And when your body is not well, your clarity declines, your energy drops, your decision makings are weakened, and your long-term prosperity becomes difficult to sustain, because when the body is inflamed, your signal is distorted. Your intuition becomes quiet and your awareness becomes clouded. You cannot hear your body if you are constantly overwhelming it. Health is not separate from wealth. Health is the foundation of wealth. Food is currency. What we consume becomes our energy. Food was meant to be energy for this beautiful temple we have. Your decisions in food determines your outcome. To rebuild your body, you have to first return to what I will say in this episode, to 3 pillars: food, herbal healing, and wellness. Your body is a living system, a temple, an intelligent network that always is communicating. And if we're willing to listen. I want to tell you a story. This is a personal story, and it's really about listening to the body. It's a personal story, so that means it's about me. So I'll go ahead and get started. So at the age of 12, I grew up in Los Angeles, for context, which might make sense why at the age of 12, I decided to be a vegetarian. Mostly that vegetarian that I decided to do was because I loved animals so much. I was going to be a veterinarian, and then I switched over to economist. I know not similar, but if you visit our website, HWPLP.com, and you can learn more about me, that story is there. But anyway, at 12, I made the decision to become a vegetarian. I was the only one in my family that was vegetarian, but I made that decision because I loved animals. Now, I did this for 8 years. And from 12 to 20, that's pretty intense, in just making an intentional decision to only consume fruits, vegetables, dairy. And so the thing was that although I made this decision, I did not educate myself enough. I did not take the time to educate myself on what would be nutritious for me. What should I consume on a regular basis? What are things that are going to fuel my body effectively? And so I didn't. And because of that, I had a high carb diet, which was counterproductive of kind of what I was looking for, because I was 12 and I felt I wanted to be more in shape, more healthy, more just the best me. And that was also contributing to me wanting to be a vegetarian and a veterinarian. But anyway, so when I transitioned out at 20 from eating a vegetarian diet and then transitioning into eating a poultry seafood diet, and then, everything else. And when I did this, I had the intention of, okay, I did the vegetarian thing. I don't need to do that no more. And I'm gonna go back to poultry and seafood only, not more hard, intense meats, because these are ones that work best for my body. So that was what I did at 20, and I had no intentions of going any other direction. At the same time, this was around the time I started college at 17, and so I was at Tuskegee, and it got me in a place where I was doing things that I had dreamed about, like when I was younger, because I was a little bit overweight, and I always wanted to be in shape. I always wanted to exercise on a regular basis, and so I got to Tuskegee. I got really active, working out more often, having just a regular regimen of exercising, and that becoming a part of my lifestyle. Still to this day, I exercise 5 to 6 times a week now, just because it is something that I love. It is something that fuels my body. But bringing that up is when I started to exercise more, my body started to communicate to me more. So things that really didn't work with my body, it really started to let me know. And the first thing it started to reject aggressively were eggs. One time I ate some eggs and they came up like soon as I ate it. And at that point, that day, I decided I wasn't going to eat eggs anymore. And I have not consumed eggs since that day. Then the thing with meat started to sit in my throat and it would not digest. It would be really difficult to digest. And so because it was just sitting there, it made me just feel so uncomfortable. Eventually, I made a decision to stop eating meat. And I didn't just make that decision like, I'll gradually work out of meat. I literally made the decision and I was like, tomorrow I'm going to stop eating meat. And I did. And I haven't eaten meat. I just eat a plant-based diet. I eat fruits, vegetables, and seeds. Yeah, that's it. Fruits, vegetables, and seeds. And that's my diet. So anyway, that transition that I made, that decision was like, okay, my body keeps telling me this meat is not digesting well. I need to stop doing it. It's making it very clear. I transitioned to the plant-based diet. I followed the Dr. Sebi's diet. If you're not familiar with Dr. Sebi, it's more of an alkaline diet. I followed that diet for about 8 years. And then at that point, my body started talking to me again and started to want more fresh foods, not so many cooked foods. So I started incorporating more uncooked foods into my diet. So now I kind of eat an 80-20 raw cooked diet. Also incorporated in that is regularly quarterly fasting. So I fast every quarter for at least a month to 2 months, depending on the fast. And so with that being said, when I transitioned the second time into plant-based, my body had already shut down so many things that I was already consuming. And that includes processed food. So I don't eat any processed foods now. But it even shut it down to where It was like, these are the things I like, and these are the things that would serve me. But following the Sabian diet, I also started to just educate myself more. I started to eat a healthier diet, what was serving me, what would serve me. He talked a lot about sea moss, so I started including that into my diet. Then I started educating myself more about herbs in general, and I started to become an herbalist. And I have quite a few herbs, not quite a few, I have a lot of herbs that I utilize for healing, and I use them for my own personal practices, and I've also helped some other people with the use of herbs. And it has been something for my temple. It has been something that has served me, and it has allowed me to have just increased clarity. I would also say it really aligned me spiritually. It made me stronger in connecting to who I am. I just stopped having so much clutter in my mind. I started to be better physical. My exercises and workouts work magnificent. Even when I'm doing my water or juice fast, I still work out at my same capacity that I work out if I wasn't fasting for 14 to 30 days. And all that to be said, it is a path that works for me because I listened to my body. I listened to my temple and allowed it to tell me what it needed. And then in also listening, I educated myself to know what I should be consuming that would serve my body so that I could keep continuing to be my best self. And so that is the whole point. The whole point is to listen, and to listen without resistance so that your body can guide you. Because it is able to guide us. It is made to heal itself. And if it tells you these are the things that I need to heal myself, give it to it. Let's slow down really quick just to balance and ground. I'm just going to do some quick breaths. We're going to inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale. Just to calm down, just to let that sink in, just to take a moment of listening and allowing things that resonate with you resonate. So let's move on. So next I want to talk about these 3 pillars that I talked about before: food, herbs, and just wellness as a whole. So I want to talk about those now. The first one is the food. The food that we put in our body is our fuel. It is what gives us alignment with the frequencies that we have. It is not just the calories that we take into our body. It is information, and it tells our body how to function. It tells our body, what do we have? What limitations do we have because we're using this? Are we going to use whole foods or processed foods? Are we going to use ingredients that we recognize? That's a big thing. If you're looking at the back of the ingredients of packaging and you can't understand most of those words, I wouldn't put that in my body. I don't put that in my body. I don't put anything in my body that has chemicals. And that's just my personal, like I said, this is my own personal journey. But if I'm reading something on the back and it has more words than I could even think about, even with having a scientific background, I'm not putting that in my body because this can't be real. I just want real things in my life, and that's it. And however you take that, I want it to be real. So we also have to look at nutritional density, our empty calories. Like, if these things are filling me, or it's just stuff in my body that usually takes a long time to come out. And that's a whole nother discussion. But not having a clean system leads to many of the illnesses that lead to those drugs, that lead to the side effects, that lead to more drugs, that lead to a life of being on drugs. So it's a whole system, and you have to step out of that system. And you have to, and stepping out of your system, you have to ask, when you're putting food into your body, does it energize you or does it drain me? You know, growing up, and even to today, I'm Black, we Black, Indigenous, we have a thing called the itis. I got the itis. I got an 8 and it good. And now I'm gonna take a nap, and then I might wake up and eat again. Now, food should not put you to sleep. That's the biggest thing. It should be something that gives you the energy, the momentum that you need to do whatever you need to do. Nothing should stop you just because you consume something, because you ate something. You also need to ask yourself, does it support my clarity? Am I able to think clearly? A lot of the processed foods, science has showed multiple times that a lot of the ultra processed foods that we put into our body really cloud our thoughts, and it does not allow us to function effectively. And then we also need to look, is this nourishing or stimulating my body? Like a lot of things that we have nowadays, when you're looking at, especially the sugary foods, well, they're not advertised as sugary foods, but if you look in the ingredients, they're full of sugar. But they're supposed to be giving you energy, but they don't. Like they'll give you that surge of energy and then you just, like the itis, you need to rest. So these are things that we need to really ask ourselves, like, is this really adding to me or is this subtracting? Because food, it carries frequencies, it carries energy, and living food, it supports our living energy. Second, we need to look, I'm looking at healing through herbs. And I don't want to say healing. I just want to really clarify that I am not a medical professional. These are things that I have used and proven to be very effective in my personal life. And if this is something that you want to practice, I suggest a lot of research, and I also suggest checking with your medical provider. Using herbs for healing, it helps to restore into balance. Herbs, they support the body and just its natural intelligence. I have used herbs for the last 10 years regularly. And in that time, I would say that I have not taken any herbs and had side effects. The side effects can be that it's going to heal something else that's wrong in me that I didn't even know that I needed help with. But I've never taken herbs and then had to take another herb to help with that. This is just from my own personal experience. So some of the herbs that like people want to use, especially if you're regulating your system, and a lot of people use these things already and they're very commonly known. I'm not going to get too deep into herbs because this is a research that I highly encourage you to do, or to use a naturopathic doctor to help you, maybe get on that path of more of a holistic healing instead of using more of the pharmaceutical Western medicine. But for calming, a lot of people like to use lavender. There's a thing called passion flower, and that helps with like your thoughts. Like if you're overthinking things, if things are just flowing, sometimes you can use passion flower in a tea and it'll help to slow down that racing mind. You can use skull cap, and that is also another herb, and that is also if you're overly stimulated. Some things for inflammation, because a lot of people do have inflammation nowadays. A regular thing that people use, especially us, when we feel a little something, a little anything, we're gonna get some ginger ale. But I just want to make it very clear to everyone, ginger ale, even though, everything is about the mind. So if you think mentally that ginger ale is going to cure you, then usually it would. It's just like the placebo effect. Like, the power of the mind is unbelievable, and this is really what we want to get across to you, HWPLP. Comment down below the power of the mind and how the mind can really change your mind. You can even give some stories about how this has worked. But a lot of people go to ginger ale because their stomach's messed up, or they feeling unbalanced and not good, or they just don't feel good. That's because ginger has a lot of great properties that allows us to heal, especially when it comes to digestive system. But if you want to make, I use ginger ale, but I'll blend the ginger, or I'll juice the ginger, my cold press juicer. And then if I want something carbonated, I'll use carbonated water, and then a little lime, and a little agave. And that, for me, it gives me a ginger ale feel, and I can determine how much ginger I want. And I usually like a lot because I love ginger. We also can use fennel seeds. If we're like sluggish and you're feeling uncomfortable, you can put that in tea. You can also eat it. Same with the ginger, you can just eat the ginger. You don't have to blend it. You don't have to eat it. You don't have to drink it. You can just eat it. Dandelion root, I love. You can use that to detox and also helping with your digestion. And that also helps with that. We're talking about inflammation. And then licorice root, it's for your adrenal health. It really helps with that. Some other things to help regulate your stress, some adaptogens that I highly encourage and I use almost every day, is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is great to calm you and just like strengthen the mind, just strengthen thinking. Maca root, I use that regularly, especially men and women. With all these foods and all these additives that they have in these foods, it has really thrown us off in terms of hormones, in terms of just balancing. We have men consuming high levels of estrogen, women over consuming estrogen. And so that really creates an imbalance. So it's really important to balance it out. So maca, it really helps with that. And it also helps you, it gives you energy. And then I like changa mushroom. This really helps with long-term brain support. And also it just is a protector of the system. So these are some examples to help you support yourself in these different elements, like looking at stress, looking at inflammation, and just looking at support as a whole. So it's just really looking to find different ways to add to the body. You can use these in addition if you're on pharmaceutical drugs, because like I said, it's not going to take away, it might just help more. So, but also please consult your medical professional before doing so. Lastly is talking about wellness. And when we talk about wellness, this is integration. Wellness is really about the mind, body, and soul. And that's really getting to those things that really speak to you. I talked about exercising. I love exercising. And exercising can be really something strenuous that you're doing high intensity. I love high intensity workouts. I love weight training. I love things of that sort. But then also it can be something that's not as strenuous. And I also love that. I am a yoga instructor. I love yoga. I do yoga, which could be intense. And then it can be on the complete opposite side when you're looking at yin yoga. But also walking. Like people just don't understand the importance of walking, how walking can just give you life. Like you can really make a difference in how you stand up in the world just by being more intentional in the walking that you do. Meditation, you're always going to hear me say something about meditation, especially when it comes to wellness. It is your grounding. It is what is going to get you to where you need to be. It's going to allow you to connect to your internal self and allow you to be the best you can be. So meditation is also something, and it is a practice. It is a practice in progress. So it is not something that you just get right away. And it is okay not to do absolutely perfect every single time. And that's the thing. Give our individual selves grace. Give us love. Give us, this is a journey. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Everything doesn't need to be perfect. The imperfections makes it more exciting. So be okay with not being okay. And then the last one is mindset. It's very important to have a shift in your mindset. Like I even talked about in the ginger ale, the placebo effect, the power of the mind, There's so many things written about the power of the mind. The book back in the day that Oprah really promoted, the law of attraction. However, that was not just discovered from that movie. This has been for thousands of years. It's been for thousands and thousands of years that people have known that the power of their mind and the power of thinking of something in a positive light just attracts that to them. So just mindset shifting, because ultimately stillness, it really just sharpens our intuition. So by using these different tools of movement, meditation, and just aligning our mindset, it is going to give us the importance that we need to be the best that we can be. So next I want to give you some tangible tools, just 2 tangible tools that are going to help you really get into these and making them become a practice for you. The first one is a conscious consumption. Just when you're eating, take moments in the eating, like eat slowly. And even before you eat, look at what you're eating and say, is this fueling me or is it taking away from me? Is it numbing me? Is it giving me something so I can avoid something? And start small, don't be too aggressive on yourself. Like I said, we don't need to be perfect in everything. We just need to put the effort into it. So start small and then to work up to something that really, works with you, and allow your body to be influenced in it. Your intuition, listen to it as you are making the decisions. The second one is shifting your food that you're consuming. And that kind of goes along with the first one. So as you're consuming, allow your body to react. Like I said in my story, like I would start to feel meat in my throat and it wouldn't digest, or the eggs, they made me feel sick. And so I never ate them again. Add more whole foods into your diet, eat more fruits and vegetables, and see how that makes you feel. Go a day without eating processed foods and see how that makes you feel. I'm sure you'll see a difference. And that's important about just listening to our bodies in general. We just need to be more intentional in everything that we do, because a clear body, it creates a clear mind, and a clear mind creates aligned decisions, and aligned decisions create wealth because you cannot build lasting wealth if you're depleted. If your body is depleted, you cannot sustain prosperity in a disconnected system. Your body is not separated from your wealth. It is the foundation of it. And when you invest in vitality, you invest in clarity, energy, longevity, and legacy. So let's go ahead and close with the HWPLP affirmation. Heal your mind, body, and soul. Build the wealth that is your birthright. Live in full prosperity, love unconditionally, and be in a state of peace. And so it is, and so I am, and so it be. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this Generational Rhodium. I am Jazmian D with HWPLP, and I absolutely look forward to seeing you next time. Until next time, peace, love, and light. Thank you. Magnificent people, if this message resonated with you, don't just watch, engage, like, comment, subscribe, and join the community where we're building healing and wealth together. Peace and love.